What is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
All right. Well, it's a special emergency stream. Normally, we don't do Monday nights. We do Friday, Sundays, and Tuesdays, but it's big news in Canada, political earthquake in Canada. Will we see the end of Justin Trudeau sooner than we thought? Well, I think that's almost certain that he's not going to last until October 2025 now, but when exactly we're going to get rid of him, we'll just have to see. I mean, the man has no shame. He is a political survivor. He's a soulless political snake, a soulless political lizard person. He's going to claw onto power absolutely as long as he can. Oh, yeah. Rumbum says that somehow I had a feeling I'd go live today with a certain event that's happening. So, yes, you were right. So what's happening? So Chrystia Freeland, the Deputy Prime Minister and the Finance Minister, well, formerly Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister, resigned. And she wrote a scathing letter, a letter that is a knife to the heart of Justin Trudeau. This comes as a surprise. She has been, I think, aside from Jagmeet Singh, she's been his most loyal supporter of anybody. She's gone along with everything happily with a smile on her face. But apparently she's had enough. She's had enough. She sent this knife into the heart of Justin Trudeau this morning. And she must know that this is it. I mean, this is it. Like he's done now. Sooner or later, he's done now. It'll be before October of 2025. But she knows. Now, before you feel sorry for her at all or anything, or you can gain a modicum, an atom of respect for her for doing this to Justin Trudeau, for destroying Justin Trudeau like this, let's just remember who she is. This is the person who followed him all the way, did everything he said, happily, joyfully. This is Chrystia Freeland here. This is when Justin Trudeau got into power. This is where the national debt is now, $1.5 trillion. The housing crisis, mass immigration, all of it. She just got along all of it. Has never had the slightest bit. There's never been the slightest bit of doubt of her absolute adoration and dedication to Justin Trudeau until right now. Let's see. What else would Chrystia Freeland? Remember that Freedom Convoy? Remember that? Remember when she froze people's bank accounts, peaceful protesters, people who just donated to them? I mean, we're talking about families here, right, who couldn't pay their rent, buy food because of her. Remember how she laughed about it? Let's take a look.
So you're confirming that accounts have been frozen, both personal and corporate, but you're not releasing the information. And the actual follow-up is...
Doesn't seem like something you should really be laughing like some demented gremlin over, some twitchy demented gremlin, but okay.
I'm just wondering whether the bank accounts will be targeted of individuals who donated to the Give, Send, Go and the GoFundMe campaigns. Are they considered designated people under the Emergencies Act, meaning that their credit cards could be cut and financial services are targeting them as well?
Okay, so the names of both individuals and entities, as well as crypto wallets, have been shared by the RCMP with financial institutions, and accounts have been frozen, and more accounts will be frozen. Crowdfunding platforms and payment service providers have started the registration process with FinTrack. In terms of the specifics on whose accounts are being frozen, you now have the regulations. The financial service providers have those regulations as well, and they, working with law enforcement, will be making the operational decisions.
Yeah, because you've got to make sure you get those people who donated $10 to a peaceful protest. Bank accounts, credit cards, everything. Yeah, so this is a lizard person versus lizard person violence situation here between her and Trudeau. But she did stick it to him in this letter, and we're going to go through this letter. So to the Right Honorable Justin Trudeau from Chrystia Freeland. Dear Prime Minister, it has been the honor of my life to serve in government, working for Canada and Canadians. Is that what you've been doing? Seems like you've been working for somebody else. But anyway, we have accomplished a lot together. All of it terrible. All of it terrible. She has done everything he's wanted. She's been in lockstep. She's done everything he's wanted all along to bring Canada to the sad state that it's in right now. Let's not forget that. On Friday, you told me you no longer want to. On Friday, you told me you no longer want me to serve as your finance minister and offered me another position in the cabinet, so a demotion. So he wanted to put her out for her to put out this humiliating fall economic statement, which was going to be, $60 billion surplus, 50% more than what it was supposed to be, which it shouldn't have been in the first place. It's just that they're so incredibly irresponsible, they just can't bring themselves to do anything that would help the country. But in any case, that was going to be humiliating. He wanted her to put that out and then shuffle her out, demote her, and put somebody else in. Maybe Mark Carney, who knows? Right? So she decided that's one humiliation too much. So she quit. I don't think she did this for the love of the country, right? We've just seen who she actually is. Upon reflection, I have concluded that the only honest and viable path for me is to resign from cabinet. Resign from cabinet. To be effective, a minister must speak on behalf of the Prime Minister with his full confidence. In making your decision, you made it clear that I no longer credibly enjoy that confidence and possess the authority that comes with it. For the past number of weeks, you and I have found ourselves at odds about the best path forward for Canada. Our country today faces a grave challenge. The incoming administration in the United States is pursuing a policy of aggressive economic nationalism. Nationalism? God, they hate nationalism so much. I think Canada could use a bit of nationalism, a bit more nationalism. Thank you very much. Yeah, please don't tell us we're the first post-national country anymore, Justin Trudeau. Thank you. Including a threat of 25% tariffs. We need to take that threat extremely seriously. Well, that's not happening, obviously. That means keeping our fiscal powder dry today so that we have the reserves we may need for a coming tariff war. Reserves? It's a $60 billion deficit. What are you talking about exactly? That means eschewing costly political gimmicks. This would be the $250 checks Justin wanted to send out and the little tax holiday, which we can ill afford and which make Canadians doubt that we recognize the gravity of the moment. Yes, Canadians recognized you're trying to buy the Canadian public off. You're trying to buy the voters off, improve your polling numbers with cheap political gimmicks. But this is scathing. Costly political gimmicks, she says. Gimmicks. Yeah. I bet he didn't like reading that. I mean, that's just putting it all out there, right? Like, I'm getting screwed over for your political gimmicks. This means pushing back against America First economic nationalism. They really don't like nationalism, with a determined effort to fight for capital and investment and the jobs they bring. This means working in good faith and humility with the premiers of the provinces and territories of our great and diverse country, because got to get the word diverse in there, and building a true Team Canada response. I know Canadians. Well, I'm guessing as well, like the Team Canada response doesn't include those people who had their bank accounts frozen for being at or donating to a peaceful protest, but whatever. I know Canadians would recognize and respect such an approach. They know when we are working for them, and they equally know when we are focused, and they equally know when we are focused on ourselves. Again, that's a little knife right into the heart of Trudeau there, right? When we're working for them, and also when they know when we're And equally, they know when we're focused on ourselves. So that statement there says that Justin Trudeau is just focused on himself. He's only focused on politics and his own political future. That's his motivation, not to help Canadians. She's telling us here what we already know. Right? It's also, she's been right there with him. She's more complicit than anybody. She's been with him lockstep every step of the way until she reached her final humiliation that she wasn't willing to take. But she's telling us right there what we already knew, that it's all just a show. It's all just politics. It's a game. Nothing is happening for the sake of the Canadian people or the well-being of the Canadian people. Inevitably, our time in government will come to an end. Yeah, inevitably being the key word there. But how we deal with the threat our country faces will define us for a generation and perhaps longer. Canada will win if we are strong, smart, and united. Well, the Liberal government isn't strong, smart, or even united. So I guess maybe we need a new government. It is this conviction which has driven my strenuous efforts this fall to manage our spending in ways that will give us the flexibility we will need to meet the serious challenges presented by the United States. I will always be grateful for the chance to have served in government, and I will always be proud of our government's work for Canada and Canadians. Well, I'm glad you're happy about it because nobody else is. I look forward to continuing to work with my colleagues as a Liberal member of Parliament, and I am committed to running again for my seat in Toronto in the next federal election. So she says she's going to run again. Whether or not that's true, I have no idea. I have no idea whether she really means that or not. Certainly, I mean, if she has leadership ambitions herself, that's even more delusional than Trudeau at this point. She's poison. Just because she stabbed Trudeau in the heart here, just as he was stabbing her in the heart, that doesn't mean she's going to get a bunch of goodwill from the Canadian people. We remember who she is. We remember her. Remember her laughing.
So you're confirming that accounts have been frozen, both personal and corporate, but you're not releasing the information.
Yeah. Having a good old giggle about freezing Canadians' bank accounts for not agreeing with her. That's essentially what it came down to, for challenging the government, even just donating $10. All right. Do you remember this? Chrystia Freeland urged Canadians not to buy Bitcoin 2 years ago. It was the literal bottom of 21,000 Canadian. So I bet you there's a lot of people that are pissed off about this, that sold off their Bitcoin and now are furious at the fear-mongering from these people.
Mr. Speaker, why don't we talk about some really terrible advice that was offered to Canadians in the spring by the Conservative leader? He urged Canadians to invest in crypto as a way to opt out of inflation. Now, Bitcoin has crashed by 21% over the past week, and by more than 65% since the Conservative leader first gave Canadians that reckless advice. The Conservatives should apologize today for this reckless policy and admit that investing in crypto would have bankrupted Canadians.
Reckless, she says. Reckless, says the finance minister. Reckless. Great. I mean, that just sums up the Trudeau government. That just sums up her term as the finance minister right there. Useless. Oh, by the way, her big experience for this was being a journalist. Yeah, she was like a journalist for like 20 years before she became a politician. That's her experience. Also, because Trudeau and because current year, also she's a woman. So obviously that's really powerful too, right? Holy crap. So we'll get more into this. I want to and the ramifications of this, right? Because she was his most trusted, right? She was the deputy prime minister. She was right there with him, connected at the hip, right? She made it pretty clear in that. That letter is just a knife to his heart, All right, first let's see what you guys are saying quickly in the chat. And then we'll move on to the next item here. Let's see. Rumbum says, radio, I've been smiling from ear to ear since I heard the news. My face actually hurts, but it's a good pain. Is he bonus stream? What have I missed? I think I saw that 11 minutes ago. You haven't missed much. Let's see. Twitchy, that's right. Pierre's speech after this dropped was great, especially the pressure he put on Chug Meat. Yeah, I've got that coming up. Don't worry. We're going to see that. Is she trying to save her own skin? So the stench is strong on both of them. I think that it was a humiliation. She saw she was being set up and she was about to be cut loose. And after all of that loyalty of demeaning herself as Trudeau's loyal servant, I think that she just had enough. Maybe she's delusional enough to think that she can go higher. She could become the prime minister herself. Who knows? Rumbum says, I'm pretty sure she is a WEF plant and was basically leading Trugina by the nose, but maybe he grew a toothpick spine. Well, she's a trustee of the WEF, but no, Trudeau's the one in control. He's the one that Klaus is so proud of, in his own words. As he says, he is equally owned, but yeah, now Trudeau's the one in control. Let's see. As he says, I'm sure they are looking for the candidate with the best hair, teeth, and genitals. Well, the wrong genitals. I mean, Trudeau himself said it right in his speech a few days ago about how Americans had voted for the wrong person because they didn't vote for the person with the vagina. And that's all that matters. Let's see. Hey, Rosie, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see Izzy. Good to see MHJ, Rumbum, all you guys. It's good to see you. And on a surprise, unexpected surprise emergency stream too. Best chat on the internet, in my opinion. All right. So let's see a little bit more here. I wanted to show you something else. Where is it? Actually, hold on. Okay. All right, there's something I want to. I want to show you something else from Chrystia Freeland. Before anybody even gets an atom of respect for her for standing up to Trudeau, right? For attacking him when he was in the process of humiliating her. Let's just remember. I mean, okay, so we've got. Well, here's our national debt now. National government debt, 1.5 trillion. It was down here. When Trudeau got into office, and she's been since 2020. So under her is where most of that actually happened. We had her laughing her head off about freezing people's bank accounts.
So you're confirming that accounts have been frozen, both personal and corporate, but you're not.
You see how happy it made her? See how happy it made her? It was like a dream come true for her. You know, her Nazi grandfather would have been so proud indeed. But let's see here. This was this is during the Freedom Convoy hearings.
And there you say that you need to designate the group as terrorists. So
essentially there.
That's not your job, but you wanted to designate them as terrorists, right?
So there's in her notebook where she's talking about how she wants to donate the Freedom Convoy, the Bouncy Castle insurrection, as terrorists. That's who she is. That's who she is. She's not a good person. She's as much of a sociopath as Trudeau. Sorry, Trugina. Justin Trudeau is himself. They're both bad. This is a lizard person versus lizard person violence happening right here. Okay, hold on. I've got something else I want to show you. 1 second, people. Let's see. From Cat Canada. How many women have been fired by and or resigned under Trudeau? Let's not forget, bestest feminist ever. Don't forget, bestest feminist ever. Let's see. Chrystia Freeland, Jody Wilson-Raybould, Selena Cesar Chavanes. I don't know how to say her name. Let's see what she had to say.
But I want you to know that I am, and always will be, a proud feminist. You will always have an ally in me and in my government.
Oh, not so fast.
And so I called the prime minister and I said, look, I'm not running again. I didn't even have to give him reason. I said, I'm not running again. It's 4 years. I'm not getting a pension. I'm not getting anything. I just don't want to do this. He said, well, that was the same day that Jody Wilson-Raybould had stepped down. He couldn't have two women of color leave at the same day.
That's what he told you.
So I forget, he's also the bestest, not only the bestest feminist ever, bestest anti-racist ever as well. What a cretin. Oh, what did Jody Wilson-Raybould say? I wish I had never met you. She told Trudeau. She's mad at herself now for having once thought Trudeau is a, quote, honest and good person, when in truth, he would so casually lie to the public. That's from 3 years ago. Let's see. Fact check confirmed. True. Casually lie to the public. All right. So what does all this mean? I mean, it means beyond any doubt, Trudeau is absolutely, he was done before. Now he's really done. But when he goes exactly is still up. We still don't know exactly when he's going to be out. They had a Liberal caucus meeting today. She walked into it and received a long-standing ovation by Liberal caucus members. I guess she's not as hated as Trudeau is. 60 Liberal MPs will sign a letter calling on Trudeau to resign. This is from 3 hours ago. That would be nearly 40% of the entire party. Let's see. Yeah, so now Dominic LeBlanc, current Minister of Public Safety, will be sworn in as the new finance minister. He has been sworn in Minister of Public Safety. I guess he's about as qualified to be finance minister as Freeland was. So, all right. So what's going to happen? But let's first, here we go. Liberal MP Francois Drouin just asked Trudeau to resign on live TV. He's not like a bigwig or anything like that within the party, but he's going public.
Obviously, many of my colleagues have put up, and I've been a great defender, but I just don't see how we move forward without having a future minister resign. Today was supposed to be a presentation of a plan, and now we're talking about a finance minister who has resigned. I don't see how this helps the prime minister, and I don't see a way out and how this helps us talk about Canadians while we're continuing to talk about what's happening right now.
And that's the thing. When you have the finance minister resigning a few hours before the fall economic statement, where she's going to have to reveal that she's gone way past the guardrails for the deficit, way past that, because, of course, they're totally irresponsible. I mean, that is a debacle. I mean, that is just the Liberal Party ship is on fire. It's got holes in the side. It's going down. It's going down to the bottom. It's a complete and utter disaster, a catastrophe. It's hilarious. It's not good for Canada, but I mean, if it gets the Liberal government out even sooner, if it gets them out sooner, if it gets them out faster, then that ultimately is good because they just have to go. Every second that they're in at this point is just more damage to the country. And he's not, I mean, there's a bunch of them coming out now and saying publicly this. All right. So what does all this say? What does Chrystia Freeland's resignation do for Trudeau? Well, this hurts him like mortally. Let's hear from Nick Nanos here, who's, I think he's liberal. liberal leaning anyway. Let's hear what he has to say.
What does this do to their positioning?
Well, this is absolutely devastating for Justin Trudeau and also the Liberals. They've got, the Liberals are behind about 18 to 20 points. They're statistically tied with the New Democrats. I guess Justin Trudeau has just learned what it feels like to be thrown under the political bus, because that's basically what Chrystia Freeland has done to him. And, the thing is, I think the big story is Jagmeet Singh. If Jagmeet Singh wants to be that progressive alternative to the Conservatives, this week is probably the day to kind of stand with the other opposition parties and demand an election, because that will force the Liberals to run under Justin Trudeau. He's back on his heels, and one of his most loyal supporters and colleagues just basically destroyed him today.
What does this do?
So, this does make Jagmeet now Trudeau's most loyal supporter, does it not? He's the one who has kept him in power. He's the one responsible for holding the country hostage until February, when he gets his pension. So what does he have to say? Will he just come out forthright and say, yeah, we need a vote of no confidence. We need an election now? What will he say? What do you think he will say? Let's check it out.
You're calling for him to resign, but you are not willing to vote no confidence in his government. How do those two things connect?
All options are on the table.
That's not an answer.
All options.
That's not an answer.
What does this mean for your support with the Liberals, though? How can you say he needs to resign, but then you're not telling us what you're going to do for non-confidence?
Telling you that all options are on the table.
Right.
Will you support the Fez? And also, are you willing to continue to support the Liberals if there is a different leader aside from Trudeau?
Right now, that's not in front of us. There's no votes in front of us, but we will take each vote. And right now, literally everything's on the table.
I was just saying, Mr. Singh, that all options are on the table. So why are you holding out the option to still support this government? I understand that you're saying that you might, trigger a confidence vote, but why are you still holding out the option? What is the glimmer of hope that you're seeing to possibly support the Fez or possibly support this government in some other way?
Depends on the votes. And so I want to make it very clear. Justin Trudeau has to go. He has to resign. Okay. And because of that, all options are on the table. And we'll look at each vote and we'll make a decision. But now all options are on the table.
Do you think it's unlikely that Jagmeet and Justin had a phone conversation before this? And Jagmeet just said, yeah, don't worry, you're fine. I got your back. Because if history is anything to go by, what he means is that what he actually means is that he's going to support Justin in every way that he can, while talking bad about him publicly, but actually just supporting him and propping him up forever, till the end of time, that he'll be his most loyal supporter forever. What has Justin got on this guy? Has he got some photographs or something? I don't know. But he still won't commit to actually voting non-confidence. What you can take from this is the same as him ripping up the supply and confidence agreement, right? It meant nothing. What he just said means nothing. It's bizarre. It's insane. But that's him. We have his track record, right? We know who he is now. All right. He might be just forced into it. It might just be too embarrassing for him. All right, hold on. Let's see if we got anything else in here I want to get to before we... Okay. Yes, Sean Fraser, also a housing minister. So the housing minister in the middle of a housing crisis has also resigned, as well as the finance minister in the middle of an economic crisis. So yeah, things going great in Canada. Although, it's good that they're both gone, right? It's just that we need all of them gone, all of the Liberals gone. Let's see. I want to just read you this from Gatsad. Imagine for a moment that Ladyboy, Justin Trudeau, had not ascended to power 9 years ago. Imagine the amount of heartache that could have been averted. Such is the weakness of the human mind. People were mesmerized by his hair and were utterly blind to the fact he was a lobotomized utterly blind to the fact that he was a lobotomized degenerate, incapable of ascending to anything above being a substitute drama teacher prior to entering politics. Canada will regret this for generations. So, I mean, if this gets rid of Trudeau faster, it has to. There's no way he can last till October next year now, right? Just a matter of when. It's sooner or later. It's going to have to be within the next few months for sure. Thing is, just don't underestimate Trudeau's ability to just cling to power. And there is no there's no way for the Liberal Party itself to get rid of him, to force him out from leadership, right? The only way is for him to resign or for there to be a no confidence vote and an election forced. That's it. The Liberal Party itself can't get rid of him. He'll be the leader until he no longer wants to be. After they lose the next election in a obvious landslide. All right. Is there one last thing in here I wanted to show you? All right. Yeah. So here's Pierre Poilievre. So this was all just a few hours before the fall economic statement, which everybody was waiting because we all knew it was going to be a disaster, right? And I mean, this is how much of a mess this is how much of a mess she put Trudeau in, that Chrystia Freeland put Trudeau into. Let's hear this from Pierre Poilievre.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
For the Finance Minister. Who are you?
Question for the Finance Minister. Who are you? Yeah, nobody knows. That's what a mess. That's how dysfunctional the government has become under Trudeau. Truly amazing. Here, from True North, Pierre Poilievre urges Jagmeet Singh to prioritize the country over his pension. Good luck with that.
Mr. Speaker, the NDP leader is absolutely right. This cannot continue. This Prime Minister cannot go on like this. Housing costs have doubled. Food bank use has doubled. The debt has doubled. Gun crime has doubled. And now we face troubling tariff threats from a president who can see weakness coming from a mile away. The Prime Minister must leave this job, but there's only one person who can remove him, and that's the leader of the NDP. Yes. Will he put the country ahead of his pension and vote for a carbon tax election now?
No, he won't. He won't. We know he won't, right? Like, he's not going to all of a sudden do the right thing.
Eric.
All right.
So, although the preamble to that question dealt with the administration of government, the question itself did not, and the chair has made it clear that we're not doing that.
All right. Yeah. So, from what I've seen, not from Jagmeet himself, but from another NDP source, is that yes, they will be willing to vote no confidence end of February, March-ish. Jagmeet's pension comes up. I believe it's February 15th. So after that, they're willing to. I mean, come on. It's just right there in front of everybody's faces. It has been all along. It's grotesque. All right. So here's Jagmeet Singh again. This is what he does. He pretends to be, in opposition to Justin Trudeau, and then proves that he's not over and over and over again as soon as he stops speaking.
Canadians literally cannot afford the groceries they need. They can't afford to find a home to call their own. And now Trump buddies of the conservatives, MAGA conservatives love this guy. Trump is threatening.
Yeah, I like MAGA, actually. Thanks for pointing that out. I do like MAGA. Thank you. I think we could use some make Canada great again. That's not scary to me. That's not scary to a lot. By the way, threatening that the conservatives will make Canada great again, maybe not the best idea politically, because it just sounds kind of good, right? I just like the sound of it. I think a lot of people actually just like the sound of that, even if they go, oh, well, I don't really like Trump, but, I mean, I do kind of want to make Canada great again, though, at least better than what it is now, like a bit more like it used to be. But anyway, let's continue.
Hundreds of thousands of jobs in Canada. And the Prime Minister is more focused on himself, on infighting. The Prime Minister cannot remain in that position. Will he resign?
The Honourable Minister for Innovation.
Mr. Speaker, this is not the time for slogan. This is not the time.
They're both just a waste of air. Both of them, both these guys. The best thing for Canada would not be for Trudeau to resign, but for there to be an election, for Jagmeet to actually follow through with his rhetoric, right? Actually do what it sounds like he would want to do, which was call election, get him out. He won't, but, it would be nice if he would. He's not going to, but the best thing for Canada is not for Trudeau to step down, but for him to go out in a historic loss, in a catastrophic loss, and to take down the Liberal Party with him, to destroy it, to burn it to the ground. That would be the best thing for Canada. For one thing, I just want the satisfaction of knowing that he has to, reap what he has sown, right? That he has to take the fall, that he's not going to jump off the sinking ship, that he actually has to own it and not somebody else. Not put in some patsy and, to have to take the fall for him. I want him to take the fall. I want him to have to wake up the morning after and look at the headline. Historic loss. Humiliation. I think that Canadians want that satisfaction. I think a lot of Canadians want that satisfaction of knowing that he's the one who took it down. He has to take the fall before he goes off to, his job at the UN or the WEF or for, be George Soros's pool boy or whatever. But that's the best thing. An election as soon as possible with him at the head, and Canadians have a chance to express their disgust. That is the best thing. But we shall see. I don't think that Trudeau will step down. I mean, who knows? Maybe he will. Maybe he will. Maybe he's stepping down right now while the stream is on. I don't know. But I suspect he won't. I suspect he's going to cling on and he's going to keep clawing onto power absolutely for as long as he can. Because that's just who he is. I think that he absolutely is delusional. I think that he does believe that there's some miraculous comeback for him. Perhaps. I don't know what he's going to do. Maybe he prorogues Parliament, suspends Parliament to give himself time to, recover. I don't know. But he's had his caucus meeting with the Liberals today. He left through the back door, of course, so he wouldn't have to answer any questions. Really, I think I don't think we can expect him to go out willingly at this point. I think he's going to have to be absolutely forced out. And again, unfortunately, the Liberal Party, or fortunately for Trudeau, the Liberal Party actually doesn't have a way to get rid of him. It's got to be his decision until he gets voted out, of course. All right. So, what do we got here? John's memes. Meme dump checkpoint. Rumors that Justin Trudeau will resign today. Please be true. Let's show how much we want this to happen. I'll drop the first 25. Okay, so there's a picture of Justin Trudeau. I don't know. I feel like this might be doctored. That was the shop teacher, the giant prosthetic boob shop teacher in, where is it, Brampton, I think, or something? I can't remember. But anyway, let's see. So this is actually just funny. I mean, From Michelle Rempel Garner. So Justin Trudeau is now going on these podcasts, on these like internet shows, right? I guess he saw that it worked really well for Trump. He thought he'd do it himself. Just one problem. Trump is Trump, and so it worked. Trudeau is Trudeau, so therefore it won't work. Whatever he does won't work, right? And also a cooking show? Really? Really? While he's trying to like blow up this whole tariff thing as badly as possible, as badly as anybody could, as he's being absolutely as reckless as a leader economically, politically, as anybody could imagine. I mean, it seems like he is genuinely trying to wreck the country right now. His insane rhetoric, his criticism of the Trump administration. Really? I mean, he's not even in yet. And Trudeau's attacking because he's so disappointed with Americans because they didn't vote for vagina. That's all he's got, by the way. No, he didn't. It had nothing as to why Kamala would have been a better choice, other than the fact that a woman, just woman. That's why current year, I guess. So while all that's going on, while he's burning the country to the ground, he's doing this. He thinks this is going to work for him. Yeah, I'm really not sure about that. Let's see. Michelle Rempel Garner. Everyone, oh my God, please fix crime, inflation, the housing crisis, the budget, the broken immigration system. No one. Please fake bake on an influencer channel for clout. Absolutely no one. Please fake bake on an influencer channel for clout. Trudeau, there he is. Canadians want me to go on cooking channels. Let's see. All right. And I wanted to show you this now. So from True North, Pierre Poilievre demands an election, rejecting the possibility of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau resigning, insisting Canadians must choose their next Prime Minister. Let's take a look.
Can you clarify, you do not accept the possibility that Mr. Trudeau could resign and there could be a leadership? You think there needs to be an election right now?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because it is not backroom liberal insiders who get to choose the Canadian Prime Minister. It is the Canadian people. And for Mark Carney to write a fall economic update full of poison pills and then put it on his rival Chrystia Freeland's desk to knock her and Mr. Trudeau out of the game and allow him and appoint himself Prime Minister is about the most undemocratic political maneuver we've ever witnessed in this country's history. The Canadian people deserve to choose who should be their next Prime Minister. Let's put our faith in them. That's up to Mr. Singh.
Yes.
Chrystia.
Yes, I want that satisfaction of casting my vote, and I want Trudeau to be the one who's going to suffer for it. I want to have the satisfaction of voting for Pierre Poilievre and knowing that Justin Trudeau is going to wake up the next morning and take the full weight of his massive loss, the full weight of his incompetency and his corruption and his narcissism and his sociopathy and his total and utter disregard for the well-being of Canadians. I want to have that. I want to have that satisfaction. I want to have the right to do that. You know, I don't want that stolen from me. So yeah, it's the best outcome. It'll be quicker. We need an election now. Just get it out of the way. And then we can just all have that catharsis of replacing Justin Trudeau and handing him a historic, humiliating loss. That's what I want. We don't want it dragged out. Stay in and then bear the burden himself. Bear the burden of what he has caused. You know, reap the bitter fruit of what he has sowed. All right. Let's see. How about this? Let's check this one out.
You want their Christmas holiday to be interrupted by a federal election campaign?
I think our right now Canadians' Christmas holidays are being interrupted by the NDP Liberal hell they're living under, lining up 2 million people at food banks, 1,400 homeless encampments, a doubling of gun crime, the worst inflation in 40 years, our 6 consecutive quarters of shrinking per capita GDP, $500 billion of investment leaving for the United States. Parents are tossing and turning at night because we have the most indebted households by far in the G7. That's the real hell that is interrupting people's Christmas spirit right now. And I think the best Christmas present we could give Canadians is to let them choose a new common sense conservative government that will bring home Canada's promise, so that anyone from anywhere can do anything. Hard work gets them a powerful paycheck and pension that buys affordable food, homes, and wonderful Christmas gifts to go under the tree. Thank you.
Yeah, we need an election. We need to get him out as soon as possible. I mean, it appears that Trudeau at this point is actually wants the 25% tariffs. I guess maybe in his weird sociopathic, delusional brain, he thinks that will benefit him politically somehow or something. He can play tough guy or something. I mean, this is what he's been doing. All of the problems in Canada that Pierre Poilievre just listed off, this is what Justin Trudeau is doing in the meantime.
No, it shouldn't be that way. It wasn't supposed to be that way. We were supposed to be on a steady, if difficult sometimes, march towards progress. And yet, just a few weeks ago, the United States voted for a second time to not elect its first woman president. Everywhere, women's rights and women's progress is under.
Wasn't supposed to be this way. The people weren't supposed to get their will, right? They were supposed to just vote on identity. That's it. It doesn't apply to him, to Trudeau, right? Because I believe that when he became leader of the Liberals, he actually beat out 4 women. I believe it was 4 women. So it doesn't apply to him. It is supposed to be that way when it's him, right? But this is what he's doing. So we got Trump threatening 25% tariffs, and this is what he does. He goes on and insults American voters for voting for Trump because they didn't vote for the woman. They didn't just vote for vagina, for sexual reproductive organs. It wasn't supposed to be this way. This is what he's doing. I think he's trying to blow it all up. I think in his mind it would benefit him politically. Let's not pretend that Trudeau has ever cared about the Canadian people or the country in general. He doesn't. He said we're the first post-national country, whatever that's supposed to mean, right? He said Canada has no core identity. These are just insults. He doesn't care. He's a globalist. Okay, so let's just dispense with any notions that he's been trying to help Canadians or is any concern for the well-being of Canadians. Not a chance in hell. Now it's just so blatant. I mean, there can be no question. What kind of a lunatic, how stupid would you have to be to think this could be helpful, considering Canada's current situation, right? Everybody knows that Trump knows that Trudeau's time is limited. He's not going to be prime minister throughout all of Trump's term, right? He's got a little while left. He wants to hear, yes, we're going to take care of our border as we should have been doing all along anyway. Hey, drugs go both ways across the border. Human trafficking goes both ways across the border. All he has to do, everybody knows it, and it would be okay. I would hold Trump over until Pierre Poilievre gets in office, who is somebody that Trump will actually be able to deal with. Trudeau can't do that, obviously. Everything is calculation on his part, and everything is purely centered on his own ego and his ambitions. That's it. It's about Justin Trudeau, and that's it. All right. Hold on a second. All right. So I guess that's about it, really. I mean, what's going to happen? We will just have to see. We'll just have to see. I'm doubtful that Trudeau will step down. For all I know, he could be stepping down, resigning right now while we're on this stream, right? I don't know. But I find it very doubtful. He's going to cling on in his delusional, desperate, sociopathic way for as long as possible. What are you guys saying? Now, we're not going to go like hours tonight. We're just covering this story, really. So let's check out the chat, and then we'll probably get going. Let's see. All right. Yes, unexpected bonus stream. Rosie says freezing the truckers' accounts was the action that crossed the line and caused many to wake up. Yeah. Not enough at that time. But yeah, some. Let's see. Story time with Uncle Kumar. Kumaran says, couldn't be fast enough getting rid of Trudeau. Yeah, absolutely. He's been such a disaster. Let's see. As he says, yeah, more internal strife means greater chance of a vote of no confidence. Well, it's up to Jagmeet, and he won't commit to that. So whatever Trudeau's got on him, he's still got it on him, right? As he says, I'd so love to see it fall before the NDP get their pensions. Well, that is probably the main reason, right? That Jagmeet is just holding out until he gets his pension, which I believe is February 15th. So I do think that Trudeau probably has blackmail material on him, but also he really wants to get his pension. And it's not a small pension, too. It's what, $3.5 million or something? Let's see. Uncle Kumaran says that Trudeau will never leave. He won't leave voluntarily. He'll have to be dragged out screaming. As he says, running from a sinking ship. Yep. Let's see. Rosie says, substitute drama teacher. Really? Well, also, though, snowboard instructor as well. Also, snowboard instructor. Mustn't forget that. As he says, Jagmeet isn't concerned about Canadians, only his pension. True. Launchpad says he's catering to the women. Yeah, it's just, it's so beyond pathetic, though, isn't it? On the cooking show, he's catering to women. Yeah, here's the thing, is that he's lost the woman vote. He's lost the women's vote. I think it was around the same time or a little bit before Sophie left him, right? And the thing is, I've said this before, once a woman loses respect for you, that's it. It's gone. You never get it back again. And I know this from plenty of experience of losing the respect of women. So I know that I'm rock solid on this one. So it's all a waste of time, obviously. Let's see. Well, Uncle Kumaran says that the only cooking show he should be on is a cannibal show. That's awful. Rosie says, it seems more than Trump smelling weakness. In my opinion, it is sniffing out disrespect to one's fellow citizens, disloyalty to the country one is supposed to be leading, and inability to be a good neighbor. Yet Trudeau is for Trudeau. That's it. Nothing could be more obvious at this point. As he says, yeah, either way, I will have the satisfaction of voting for Pierre, but I just want Trudeau to have to look at that newspaper headline in the morning. And I want to have played just my small, tiny, amongst millions, small, tiny piece of that. You know, just my own tiny little part of that. But what I played a little tiny part there in Trudeau having to wake up and look at that appalling headline in the morning, that terrifying, that historically bad headline in the morning. All right. Let's see. Izzy says, and that means you have to choose your leaders based on the shape of their junk. That apparently is what Trudeau thinks, except for him. He's the exception. Rumbum says the Trump tariffs are so perfect in this moment because holy shit, it adds so much pressure. Well, it was a test for Trudeau. Does he actually care about the country at all? Obviously not. Obviously not. It was very simple. He just needed to say the words and say, we're setting out a plan. Trump's not even in office yet, right? He got on the southern border, the Mexican president, she sent an icy, tweet out or whatever. And, but she also is stopping the migrant caravans, right? That's a win before Trump even gets in office. He just wanted to hear something, right? Because it benefits Canada too. It's a disgrace that it even needs to be brought up, the border issue. It's a total disgrace. Just say the words, yeah, we're going to deal with it. We're finally going to get our own house in order, right? Just say that's all he had to do. I still don't believe we're going to see the tariffs anyway, because they'll also be extremely damaging to the United States. But, come on. Just do it. Just do the adult thing for once, Trudeau. But he can't. He has to go on and talk about how he's so disappointed in the American people for not voting entirely on identity. What? This whole current year thing isn't working the way it used to. Rumbum says, True China will definitely be pulling off a 3-year temper tantrum because if he can't have it, no one can. Effing psycho. 100%. Especially on that psycho part. Let's see. Launchpad says the governor offer is looking better and better for him. Why not just be an adult? And he could just avoid all of this. But he's incapable of that. Let's see. Well, POTUS George Caribbean, good to see you in the chat, POTUS. I've hit the like and earned my good boy points for the day. Yeah, you're richer for it. Now you can relax too. You got that. You got that good karma in your pocket. You don't need to worry about it. You don't need to worry about what would have happened had you not hit the like button. Let's see. Kirby says, Jug Meat sounds like the most made-up name ever. Let's see. Nevada says Schultz is out in Germany today from a vote of no confidence. It's happening all over the place. All over the place. Let's see. You know what? Well, I got you all here. Why don't we do some? Oh, no, I guess I can't do it. I was going to do an ad read, but then one person left and I couldn't do it anymore. All right. Nevada says True China doesn't give a shit about Canada. He does not. He cares about himself. Kirby says Britain and all of Europe is in so much trouble. They are in big time trouble. And I don't think I think they're just screwed. I'm not sure there's a way out of it for them at this point. Let's see. Nevada says time to seal the borders everywhere. Let's see. Kirby says, I always appreciate how Radio Baloney doesn't cuss. What are you talking about? I'm constantly cussing. Are you making fun of me? He says, I try not to, but mess up still sometimes. Let's see. All right. So, why don't we give me 1 second here. Hold on. Just want to, All right, what do we got here? Let's just see what the latest that's coming out, because the news is moving pretty quick right now. From Rupa Subramanya, there was and this is from 53 minutes ago, so after I started the stream. There was also a suggestion by the Prime Minister that what unfolded with Chrystia Freeland and the way it's being portrayed is not fully accurate, although he did not explain anything further. Chrystia Freeland was in the room. So Chrystia Freeland did go into the caucus meeting, apparently got a big round of applause when she went in. So Rupa says, I'm fairly confident in asserting that Rosie Barton got this from sources very close to Trudeau. Trudeau is also apparently going to take the holidays to reflect on today's events. Despite anyone's wishful thinking that Trudeau would fold his hands tonight, I don't think he's going anywhere. He's clearly in the fight of his life. He has no intention of quitting. If necessary, he'll take the country down in flames with him. Rosie doesn't look happy, does she? I mean, she was the first few years of Trudeau's prime ministership. She was just glowing. She loved him so much. Let's hear this.
Chrystia Freeland is in attendance on a day where she quit cabinet. We are told she received a standing ovation when she walked into the room. The Prime Minister, we did have those peekaboo photos earlier of him standing at the front of the room speaking into a microphone until they put up lines and cut off our view. Rosemary Barton, our chief political correspondent, is here. Rosie, I don't know if you've gotten any information on what is happening inside that room.
Yeah,
or any
I
latest,
have a
what do you
little
got?
bit, actually. There are people at the microphone. One person told me it does sound as though the Prime Minister is going to take the holiday to consider his options. So anyone that thought that this was going to unfold quickly is wrong. There was also a suggestion by the Prime Minister that what unfolded with Chrystia Freeland and the way it is being portrayed is perhaps not fully accurate. Although he did not explain anything further, and certainly Chrystia Freeland.
I don't know. So that would mean one of them's lying. I think probably the most likely thing is that they're both lying, and it's worse than both of them are saying because they're both awful. Let's see. Well, POTUS Judge Kirby's saying that he's saying that I don't swear that much. He said that I said effing instead of fucking. There, I said it. I did it. I did it. Hopeful Soul says, come on, people, watching on Rumble is better, but you're on YouTube. But you're right, though. Watching on Rumble is better. Come join us over there. All right. In fact, I think we're an hour in now, so I think that we're going to actually cut out the YouTube part of the stream. Please come and join me over on Rumble, because we're going to keep going there. There's all kinds of censorship problems and stuff with YouTube and installing Tube, and they're always listening and waiting for us to make some sort of mistake so that they can denounce us and do something to my channel or whatever. I don't know. It's just safer that we don't go too long there. So anybody on YouTube right now, please come over, join us on Rumble. It's going to be a load of fun. You're going to have a great time. Trust me. And you can subscribe to my channel over there too if you're not, and you can like the stream. That's super fun. Everybody loves that. They keep telling me that all the time. That's what everybody says. Anyway, thank you, everybody who's been on YouTube. Join us on Rumble now, and we'll see you there. And also, we're going live tomorrow night as well. This was a special emergency stream tonight. We don't normally do Mondays, but we'll be back tomorrow for our regular Tuesday night. Anyway, good night. All right, everybody. Good.